Hello again, everyone. I am Little Girl, and once again, welcome back to Cupid. Now, shut up, phone. Now is not the time. I am busy doing something. Okay, anyway, no further explanation. We're just gonna phone, shut up. My phone is, stop it. I'm trying to do something. Okay, I almost clicked start. That wouldn't have been a good idea. Now where are we continuing on from? We are continuing on from chapter 4, Metamorphosis. The second candle is lit. Its name is Philia, the love for friends. The yellow candle shone and danced with her breath. Let this candle burn until its wick is spent. Encourage friendship, bring forth memories. Let me walk in his halls without any suspicion. Let me rummage through his belongings invisibly. His journal. He guards his journal fiercely. I must find it. Do you now? I mean, his journal is kind of his personal, privacy, matters. You shouldn't really be going through his stuff. Rosa adjusted her coat as she sat on one of the reserved seats. The theater was packed, the air buzzed with excitement. She hadn't realized as many people would come out tonight. Oh, Mother, I wish they would stop staring at me. And why not? This was Madame Katherine Period's first solo concerto. Her name had been slowly gathering recognition the past few years. It was feasible to expect a full house. Still, the turnout was more than they had expected. Paris had taken Rosa and Katherine by surprise. The sheer number of people and their liveliness were well above the usual sights of their small town. Katherine was obviously thrilled at the opportunity to play in such an esteemed venue for her debut. Rosa tried her best to keep her anxiety under control. This was for Katherine. Yes, for her. This was her night. Rosa took a deep breath and released it slowly. It relaxed her. I hope the show starts soon. Rosa's eye drifted towards the stage and then to the throng of people gathered on her far left. In the middle of the huddle stood a familiar shape of a man. He had his back to her, but the posture and the build were unmistakable. That's Gilliam. Her heart made a sudden gleeful jump. Ooh, she was delighted that he had made it to the Katherine's show. He had been traveling extensively recently. What if she walked over and made sure Gilliam would greet her kindly? She was sure Katherine would be thrilled to know he was here. Rosa pondered for a bit, reminded of a sudden wince of pain. Soon the master of ceremonies obliged people to take their seats. Gilliam turned around and walked towards her. He stopped midway and took a seat without noticing her presence. Oh. Rosa seemed deep in thought. What's wrong, sweetheart? Is something bothering you? Nothing, Mother. Don't lie to me. I just didn't expect to see him here, that's all. Oh, I see. Is it the same problem, isn't it? Does Gilliam's presence upset you, or are you worried about Katherine now that he's here? Why would we... I don't know. Gilliam's presence upsets you. No, by the gleeful expression she made when she saw him, clearly it doesn't upset her. I don't know. That filthy man again. I'm sure Katherine will be pleased. Whatever will she think now that her lover is back? I bet she would rather spend all the time with him as usual. My poor darling, always running after her star. I wonder how long until she is tired of you constantly tagging along. You brag to me that you share everything like sisters. Does that include Gilliam too? Oh, are you making your life so complicated, darling? Why do you even bother yourself with these people? You're never going to look at you. Do you like being so miserable? It saddens me to see you like this. He has eyes only for Katherine. Must you always impose your presence like a little dog? Well, excuse me. It's not like that, Mother. We're friends. Friends? Darling, friendship is nothing but a shallow kind of relationship. Excuse me? I personally have very strong friendships, and they're not shallow, as I can speak for many out there who have friendships like that. Aren't shallow. Dang. People change friends as easily as the weather. That's easy for you to say. You don't even remember the friends you make at a certain age. I remember every friend I've made. Family is more important. Friendships do not last. That's not true. In most cases, you can have friendships that last for a lifetime. Okay? Family is more important. But in this case, mother, shut your face. I don't want to hear it from you. I guess I want to go this way. I'm the only one who will care for you forever, darling. A mother's love will endure. This bond can never be broken by time or absence. Family lifts you up. Yes, but sometimes they can bring you down, which is the worst. It saves. Of course you feel this way. You see them often. But when you lose touch, you're left with nothing but a collection of strangers. And believe me, my dear, they will leave. They always leave. You amuse them now, but soon they will abandon you too. Rosa's tongue felt bitter in her mouth. She was filled with annoyance for her mother. Wasn't happiness as fleeting as friendship? Yet it was not any less real than sadness. Yes, family was important. These familial bonds kept her from losing herself. It was her rock, her foundation. But were these bonds the only constant value? These friends, these were people who accepted her. They shared laughter and tears, their own regrets and dreams. In her heart, she had found home with them. What more was needed? Rosa's confused feelings began to arrange themselves neatly in her mind. Gilliam and Katherine's happiness was important to her. That was the main thing. She knew they felt the same way for her. Her insecurities were real, but they were insignificant. If anything, they were bittersweet. She had no regrets. For the first time in her life, she wanted to talk back to Mother. Do it, girl. All the power to you. Go right ahead. She bit her lip, quelling the nerves as she opened her mouth to speak. I know that. What? I know that Katherine matters more to him than I do. I know they might abandon me one day for whatever reason. It might be today or next year, or even sooner. But that doesn't matter in the long run. I am happy with him. Who is trying to contact me? Shut up. We've had years together that I will treasure. Like I treasure memories of you too, Mother. I'm kidding. Person very special. I know who it is. Just right now I'm kind of busy. My memories of you keep me sustained. That is why I love you. The years we spent together, no matter how fleeting, are still worth something. So let me care for them right now. Everything changes, but nothing is lost. Rosa was sure she had read it somewhere. Rosa waited for Mother to answer with a vicious voice to burst out screaming at her cheekiness, but no voice came. Rosa smiled to herself. You done did good, Rosa. Good for you. The lights dimmed. A low hush descended on the pews. Ooh, new video from Brandon Rogers. I am so sorry, I got distracted. He's awesome. I love Brandon Rogers. He's the best. What did I just do? I did not do that. Oh no, I don't want to quit. Okay, return. Whoops. Okay. Soon Katherine entered, clad in the loveliest gown and even lovelier smile. She was beautiful. She belonged on the stage. The lights shone on her, but they paled in comparison to her radiance. Katherine bowed to the audience and took a seat in front of the piano. She began to play. Very nice. That's some pretty good piano playing, if I should say so myself. Rosa gripped the handle of her seat. She felt surges of emotion with every note. A kind of energy passed through her, touching her skin and making her break into goosebumps. Oh, Katherine! Rosa hadn't known of such an effect before this moment. Music that could so strike the heart as if it was fiddling with the soul. It was different from practice. different from when she was performing in front of smaller groups. This was a stage, and here was a woman with strings. She was touching the right keys, touching your heart and electrifying your soul. Rosa realized she wasn't alone in this feeling. The whole room was mesmerized. She looked at the lady beside her seat. She had her hand to her open mouth. A teardrop dangled precariously on her eye. The man to her left seemed to have forgotten to blink. All this from a piano. Wow. Rosa beamed and savored a rush of kinship with them. They were experiencing the same emotions with her. It made her love them just a little bit. Rosa closed her eyes and savored the night. Oh my god, that is actually pretty good. A bead of sweat fell from Katherine's chin. She was out of her body now. Her stress from the beginning of the show had thawed and turned into passion. It ran down her fingers to the keys. It did not escape Katherine's notice that most people in the crowd came to the show to gawk at her. Katherine Period, the one that the infamous Marquis de Gilliam had been courting for years. Didn't you pay for this event? Lucky broad. Katherine Period, I heard she was some pianist. Any good? Who knows? Must be. Even if that Marquis is chasing her. Katherine Period. Some female pianist. Pretty face, nice flesh on her. Oh, okay. Let us watch her show. Yeah, please do, and don't comment anything about her flesh, like in that matter ever again, please. Her fingers caressed the keys, playing them with the force of her heart. Did she play to prove them wrong? Her music saturated the theater with her favor. Fervor. No, not to prove them wrong, to set it right. Katherine Period is my name. I am more than just a pretty face, and I am playing this piece for you. It is my gift. Let me touch your soul. My soul has been touched, and sorry, I just blew up your ears touching the microphone. Rosa felt her eye get moist. Ha, 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 oh gosh, please don't do that. This is Katherine's heart transcribed into her music, all energy and beauty with the strength of the wind. The mischief of a sudden gale that whips out ladies' skirts and tips gentlemen's hats. The cold breeze that carried the loneliness of the coming winter. Everyone in the audience felt it. Rosa searched for Gilliam's face in the darkness. She couldn't see him clearly, but it didn't matter. She knew what he was feeling. She felt it too. Rosa's heart began to ache. It was a sting that she didn't know how to name. Oh my! Uh-oh. After the show, Rosa greeted Katherine in her backstage dressing room. Oh my god, you lovely girl, you. She was smothered in flowers from the audience. Sweat glistened on her forehead. Katherine gave her a tight hug. Congratulations, Kath. You were marvelous on stage. Thank you, Rosie. Katherine covered her cheeks with her hands. I'm still shaking. The excitement from the stage hasn't left. Look at my hands. Oh dear. So I would call the show a success, yes? Pour the champagne, Sherry. It is a night to remember. Katherine and Rosa hugged again. Let me just finish up here, Rosa. Then we'll celebrate properly. Two young ravishing ladies sampling the best of what Paris has to offer. I like it. Rosa laughed. Just don't let go of my hand. You might get lost being so starry-eyed. She was teasing but smiling brightly all the same. I would never. Anyway, shall I meet you outside in a few minutes? Very well. I'll see you later. Rosa was thankful to leave the backstage area. She had almost forgotten her anxiety during the show, but the backstage was an ill reminder of the crowd. She looked forward to the night ahead, wondering vaguely why she hadn't mentioned Gilliam's presence to Kath. She shrugged it off. It had simply slipped her mind, that was all. Are you sure? Are you just avoiding mentioning him at all costs? Katherine went back to her dressing room, humming as she was about to grab her coat. She wasn't the least bit tired. Visions of city, exploring new sights and gaining experiences made her giddy with excitement. It will end the night on the best note, she was sure. A small knock interrupted her thoughts. Who's there? Katherine turned around and a cheerful smile froze on her face. Oh no, it's Gilliam. Why? The Marquis peeked from the open door and stepped inside. Hello, Kath. A tingling passed through Katherine's neck. Ooh, oh boy. Although she was aware of he had returned, this was the first time she'd seen him in 2 years. 2 years. He's been gone for 2 years. What the heck, man? After she rebuked his intentions of wooing her, Katherine shook her head at the memory. They grew up together. It was normal to develop feelings for someone you shared most of your life with, was it not? I don't know about that. Yet Katherine had promised herself not to dabble with the Marquis, with all the rumors and the past flings. He's a real Casanova, this guy. It felt like she knew too much. Too complicated, she had reasoned. The rumors were still alive in some circles, but had Gilliam come clean of his romantic escapades? Hadn't he vowed to be faithful since he had made his intentions clear? Who to believe? Perhaps it was possible that... Katherine pushed away the insinuation of the last thought and rearranged her face into a merry smile. You see, I'm smiling. So happy that you're here. She curtsied. My lord Marquis, thank you for coming. That last bit came out too loud in her ears. It felt like her voice was compensating. She suppressed a groan. I hope you found the show satisfactory. My lord Marquis? What happened to Gilly Monster? At once the memories flooded her mind. Oh, you just had to trigger it, didn't you? That used to be her greeting every time she had visited him back then. She would scream that when she saw him, right before she flung her arms around his neck. Katherine didn't know what to do. Suddenly her hands, the hands that had never betrayed her, felt like they belonged to someone else. She cleared her throat and felt the smile harden on her face. Pardon my past slights, sir. I was a bit of a precocious child. After all, I must give my due respects to the sponsor of this event. Thank you. By the way, I didn't have to be so extravagant. Or it didn't have to be so extravagant. Wasn't it your dream to play in Paris, Kath? I thought your debut would be the perfect opportunity to fulfill that dream. What was that? The Marquis stepped into her quarters and closed the door. What are you doing? Katherine flinched, afraid that the small room would draw them even closer. Well, it's already happening, so, buckle down. Just the effect that he wanted. Probably the sly fox. She floundered for a bit and contented herself in fussing with the flowers on the table. She would chase him out. Why wasn't she chasing him out? Or she should. Mad! Katherine! I didn't think you'd be attending tonight, sir. Weren't you traveling? Yes, I was. But I wouldn't miss your concerto for the whole of France. Gilliam stepped forward. And it seemed... Whoa, dude, you need to chill a bit, okay? And it seems my investments were well placed. Oh, he's getting closer. Gilliam drew closer to Katherine, so near that she could smell the mint in his breath. Minty. He appeared to reach out to her face, but changed direction in the last minute. Oh, these flowers are from the Duke. How pretty. Oh, very well played, sir. He examined the card, dangling a hair away from Katherine's ear, trying to look fascinated by the piece of decorative paper. I ran out of breath in mid-sentence, sorry. Then he stepped back, grinning like an idiot. He's not grinning like an idiot here. It looks like he's, dead. He really has great taste. Wherever did you learn that, muckhead? If he thought that kind of ploy would make her swoon, then he was dead wrong. In fact, all it made her want to do was wipe that stupid grin off his face with the backside of the vase. I'd be more happy to do it for you, too. Or we can both do it. Yes, he does, doesn't he? She gritted her teeth, unable to take the acidic edge off her voice. It wouldn't be so hard. All she had to do was grab the neck of the expensive vase and fling it at his head. Go do it, girl. You have every right. Just go ahead and throw it at him. She wasn't sure if the vase would break. Maybe not. Maybe she would need to hit him again for the full effect. With a head that's as hard as his, and, it's impossible to break. There was a roast in there somewhere. We'll find it. Don't worry. I'm sorry. Katherine, did you hear what I just said? Huh? I said, now that I'm back in town, would you consider playing for me again? Sir, she will not do anything for your pleasure. It was part of our original arrangement, after all. She felt the tension in her neck tighten. I have a full schedule this week, sire, but I'll let you know when I'm free. Oh, sire, I must retire for the night. I am exhausted from my performance, after all. Excuse me. Katherine turned around and went for her coat, but she felt Gilliam grab her hand. Wait. They stared at each other for a couple of seconds. Oh, God, those seconds felt like minutes. So long. Gilliam looked like he was about to say something. His mouth opened and closed as if debating the correct words for his head. Well, then come on, spit it out. Don't act like a fish. But he just dropped Katherine's hand a moment later. I'm sorry, you're right. You must be tired. His shoulders dropped. Katherine felt a tinge of disappointment, but she ignored it quickly. Gilliam let out a sigh. You know I am not good at this, Katherine. Oh, what do I know? You seem to do just fine. You have an amazing track record. Huh? Katherine folded her arms over her chest with a pout. Oh, that. That is just because of my face. What? What? Most people think I am very deep and thoughtful when I stare at them like this. I just run with it. Really? Okay. Katherine bit her lip to prevent a chuckle from escaping, but the laughter burst out from her. You hadn't changed at all. Before she could stop herself, a mischievous smile appeared on her lips. No, actually, it is your inability to make big gestures, Gilly. Huh? Well, look at you. She copied his tight, alert posture. You stand stiff as a board. I guess it fools people into believing you are a graceful, dashing soul. Gillian made a pout. Oh, stop being a child. I am dashing, though. Kind of. I mean, you got a little bit of charm to you, but not much. Maybe. Au contraire, ma sire. I did have the misfortune of being victim to your dancing. Must you always bring that up? It was a long time ago. He looked so distressed that Katherine couldn't help but tease him further. I mourned the death of my little toe, sire. I liked that toe. It was a traumatic experience. Before long, they were laughing like it was the most natural thing in the world. When did it change? Hadn't it always been like this? Katherine settled back into her own skin, mulling the confusion in her veins. Kath. She looked up at him, her own emotions stung her. You can't keep running away from me. Oh, you creep. She sighed deeply. Her hands tightened around her resolve for lack of a solid thing to hold on to. Perhaps not, but I have already given you an answer. I am aware. I have tried to accept it. Please don't take offense, but I thought it would be easy. I left to clear my head to fill my mind with other things. Traveling usually does the trick. Yeah, but you tried to resolve things in your mind for over 2 years. For a while, at least, I thought I was successful. Maybe for about a year, but, after that, you tend to lose why you were doing that. But even during my trip, I would catch myself thinking such absurd things, like, I wonder what Kath will say when she sees that. No, I don't think Katherine will like this too much. Well, Kath used to say. It was funny, but also a little infuriating to know that you have never left my mind. So I wish I knew how to do this. I am too used to people leaving me that I do not know how to quit on my own. Oh, it must bother you, the amount of lovers I had in the past. You make Casanova look innocent. Sire? Mr. Marquis? I am sorry for that. I almost wish I really was that adept. But like I have told you, most are simply rumors. Are you sure about that? The rest are people realizing I am not as interesting as they had initially thought. Gilliam, They never stay long, Kath. One could say I am amazing with first impressions. There is a nagging feeling that's all I am ever good for. A sort of exotic trophy people like to collect for its sake and then put aside when its novelty expires. Oh my. Wow. Yikes. Okay, I can't blame them. By now I am quite sure that I am what is wrong. I must be better at letting people go. But you, please don't make me let go. You see through me, Kath. In your eyes, I feel like I am somebody worth loving. Is it any wonder I'd like to continue thinking of you fondly? Old habits die hard, I suppose. Katherine bit her lip. Those are impressive words, sire, but do you have a point? My point? It's simple, really. I don't think I'll be able to stop my feelings for you. Oh, Gillian, you poor thing. You may reject me as many times as you wish. It will not change. I have already come to the conclusion that I don't mind. He shrugged. So I propose that you either get used to me chasing you. Only you give in to my dashing, toe-mashing charms. Katherine chuckled despite herself. Or I could just kill you with the Duke's fashionable ways. Oh, no, you should... Katherine, what? Katherine, no, I'm sorry. Just don't do that. Please do not give my superior the pleasure. I would rather you rip my heart out of my chest and offer it as a dark sacrifice to the gods. Gory. Very poetic, dashing points for you. You think so? I've been reading a lot of romance novels lately. What kind of romance novels are you even talking about? I figured I must learn to be more suave to make the lady of my dreams swoon. Is it working? Yeah, it is. It's working pretty good. Hardly. I believe this is how they do it in the big finale. Oh my goodness. Gillian cleared her throat and knelt down on one knee. Oh my god, is he doing the thing? Oh, is he gonna do the thing? Oh, he's doing the thing. Why am I so excited about this? He took Katherine's hand awkwardly, trying to act as natural as he could. His serious face made Katherine burst out laughing. I don't know what she's saying. Sorry. California, what in the world are you doing, idiot? Stop laughing, madame. I must try this at least once. I am simply concerned for an older gentleman and his knee. Will you be able to stand upon him from that position later, given your obvious grace? Gilliam chuckled. Terrible. Dare you call me an old man? I don't look my age, you know. Sure. Oh, stop laughing, will you? I am trying to concentrate. He cleared his throat again. What? Oh, okay. That's how you ask. Okay, wow. Will Mademoiselle Katherine Perride allow me an audience tonight? As such, perhaps she might allow me to stay by her side for a little while longer. It would make me a very happy man. It was sappy and ridiculous, and yet hearing the words did stir Katherine's heart. They were giggling like fools now, like children, her heart heavy with love for him. Love? Did she just think love? Of course she did. She had always loved him. Why was she fighting her feelings again? The reason seemed unclear all of a sudden. All right, sire, your gallantry has convinced this lady to accept your offer for tonight. She bowed with an exaggerated curtsy. Gilliam took her hand theatrically as he stood up. This gentleman is relieved he didn't have to sing. A few rules for tonight. As we are in Paris, you must be on your best behavior. No embarrassing jokes like making friends with the street mimes. Agreed. As such, I must retire by 8. 10. 8. 9:30. 9. Take it or leave it. Oh my god. Gilliam grumbled, but Katherine just chuckled at his frustration. Fine. 9:15 it is. Oh my god, she said 9, but he went to 9:15. Sir, I meant 9 sharp. Gilliam's face brightened like a little boy's. Oh, I know where we can go. There is a quaint little piazza just south of here. They have a breathtaking view of the city. They're on a hill, you see. I know the owner personally, so we're already guaranteed the best seats. And they serve the best pommes de terre, grantinis. Apple pie grantinis? Is that what he just said? I don't actually understand. Gratin again? If you continue eating that every opportunity you get, soon there will be no potatoes left in all of France. Oh, that's a potato. Gratin. Okay. I don't understand. Katherine sighed. Why must be he so... This better not be a game like all your other flings, sire. I deserve to be treated like more than a prize. But Katherine watched Gilliam's face beam as he talked about that little house on the hill. How, when the weather was perfect, the stars would soak the sky. She giggled to herself with fondness. Oh, what a dolt. A knight in Paris says he would rather eat cheesed potatoes. It was just like him to pick the stars instead of the city, wasn't it? It pleased her to know that she adored the side of him that others did not see. But was this the real him? Did she really see through him like he said? Or was this a face he put on for her sake, like most flirts could? If it was, then she had been watching this face since she was a little girl. From awe to admiration, from friends to lovers. They had seen the best and worst of each other throughout the years. Surely there was something to that. Surely it couldn't be all a lie, right? I am sorry I got carried away. Shall we go? Yes. Katherine grabbed her coat and Gilliam took her purse. Oh, I almost forgot. Rosa is waiting outside. Then let us hurry and meet up with her. I haven't seen her for a long time. I missed her too. It will be a treat to spend the evening with two esteemed ladies. She'll be thrilled to see you. Just like old times, us three? I was gonna make a joke, but I better not. Sorry. She slipped her hand on his arm nonchalantly and caught Gilliam's smile to himself. At the very least, let that smile be real. What just happened? I have no idea what just happened. You're lying! Wait, what? Did I just skip something? Lady Claudette saw you in Nimes. Tears. Wait, what? I didn't. I must have. Oh my gosh. Okay then. I will be right back. I think I did something, so just hang on a minute. I'm so sorry. Let that be real. Oh, his smile. I don't know what's happening, but this is literally the next part in the game. I went around again and played all the dialogue and everything, but apparently right after when she says something about let his smile be real, or I must have read that wrong, but this is literally what happens next. You heard a glass breaking or something, and she's saying you're lying. And now we're in this conversation. I don't know why, but this is the next part. So nothing happened. I didn't touch anything. So we're just going to continue on. I am so sorry about that. Tears and snot ran down her face. She was holding a vintage 1610 bottle of wine. She gripped the neck of the bottle and flung it at the wall where Gilliam was standing. He ducked just in time to avoid the glass. Chérie! Don't you sherry me, you bastard! Can we not take it out on my wine collection again? Katherine threw another bottle in response. Stop, Katherine. You're going to hurt yourself. Hurt myself? Like you care. You tell me you're off to Avignon last weekend, but you're actually in Nimes? Why are you making this into a huge deal? So I had to stop over at a neighboring town. It's a lie if you omit things. I told you at the very start of this relationship, Gilliam, I want 100% honesty from you. And I've told you as well. I have a reputation. Rumors follow me. Idle mouths can't help but chatter. Did you know that Lady Claudette once indecently proposed to me? And right in her husband's birthday gathering as well. Ooh, that's rough. So what? That is all beside the point. You know what they say, where there is smoke, there is fire. How about a name to further torch the bush? Laliane de Monteclair? Laliane is the shop girl of the town, a nice girl. Or at least I surmise from all those 3 times I made the mistake to enter her shop, it looks like. Is there anything else you would like to insinuate? Oh, nothing at all, sire. Why, is there anything I should know? Gilliam sighed and tried to speak calmly. Sherry, I promised you when we got engaged, didn't I? I will be faithful to only you. There is no one else. But Katherine gritted her teeth. Again with this? You are more vague than a monkey's spit. Ew. Answer me straight right now. Yes or no? Are you having an affair? Oh my God, this got real. Gilliam threw his hands up in annoyance. Mad, Katherine, I am not. I have already answered this. Why does it seem like you only hear what you want to hear? I just want to understand everything and make it crystal clear. Is that so bad? Now explain to me what Lady Claudette... Lady Claudette, are you taking that bitter, confining woman's words over mine? Well, I try to get information from this source, but the source isn't very reliable. Gilliam's shoulders slumped in an irritated surrender as she heard him curse under his breath. I am tired of this, Kath. This is a waste of time. What is the point of this if we keep going around in circles? Katherine snuffled, wiping her nose savagely with her hand. You always do this. You go off on a tangent and pick things apart. You don't even listen to my side at all. Could you stop acting like a child for 1 minute? Maybe then we can have a real conversation. A conversation with a liar is always one-sided. Katherine grabbed 2 bottles this time. Whoa. What would happen if she brought the 2 bottles crashing in front of her? Would the pieces of glass stab her face? Her eyes, maybe? What a random thought. The morbid picture gave her an out-of-body experience. Yikes. It was a nasty fight, depressingly familiar, but they were dancing to the same tune once again. Here be the lovers. Enter the left, hothead. Watch her dance with anger blazing. Tears are sparkling bitter rage. The fight goes on until she's spent. The reason's hazy in her head. Pan right, the rake. Both the victim and accused. Words are poison or an unlit fuse. Migraines taunt his pride and temper. He grudgingly takes on logic's mantle. The words they throw reach fever pitch. The dance will crest. He'll choose to leave. Enough of this, he says in rage. Temper rising, he exits frame. Her unspent fervor burning hot, she cries it off. That cowardly sod! What did you expect? She asks herself. He'll take abuse with a bowed head. The least he could do, her anger shouts. A hint of guilt, a hint of doubt. The migraine throbs as he is pacing. Annoyed and angered, his face aflush. Capricious woman, irrational. He shakes his head with a tired breath. Yet he basks in torture and savors the taste. This is love, he nods. This is love, he says. Love and pain go hand in hand. It is painful, yes, but never bland. He nips a morsel and takes a bite. Exquisite, he trembles. A rush, a charge. He feels his heart is struck by love, decides that it's worth the grip. A dainty flower he must protect, to watch it bloom until it's ripe. But not right now, he says, still sore. His pride's too hard to swallow whole. Hours pass, he wouldn't call. She forms the words she knows will hurt. She plans to cut and make him bleed. Yet when he arrives, she all but weeps. Why did you leave? I shouldn't have. Are you angry still? I'm here now, love. Her arms are snug upon his neck. He'll promise to change, to do what's best. For both their sakes, he admits he's wrong. A little lie to complete the song. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you love. Oh boy. Wow. Cool. Alright then. That was interesting. Just tell me when you're tired of me or when you find some other pretty thing, you bastard. Katherine slipped back into her brain just as the last sentence left her lips. If you are going to leave me, then just leave. Stop playing me for a fool. This was a new tempo. She dropped the bottles to her side but did not let go. He noticed a change of song and timed his step accordingly. I never once thought or treated you like a fool. I love you. I am never going to leave you. New tears churned and bubbled from her eyes. Liar! It was her turn to leave this time, and she did. He was left to perform a solo. Contemplation, regret, penance, a vow of new beginnings forming in his head. Wow. Okay. Kath? Rosie, Wosie! Katherine stumbled into Rosa's room that evening, drunk to high heaven. Her half-lit eyes surveyed Rosa's meager space. She let herself fall on the bed, regretting it instantly. The ceiling spun in a waltz of throbbing headaches and acid-laced throats. Bad idea. Katherine stood up and wobbly legs tripped her. Rosa caught her and sat Kath on her small bed. My goodness, you stink of alcohol. She propped some pillows behind her back and fixed the stray hairs that had littered her face. Thanks, hon, you're a dear. How much have you had, Kath? Katherine counted on her fingertips. Never mind. Would you like some water? Nope. Interesting. Huh? I can almost hear liquid sloshing around in my brain when I shake my head. Like this. It goes swish, swish, swish. Rosa pursed her lips. Katherine was in no shape to make decisions right now. She stood up to get her something to sober up, but Katherine grabbed Rosa's hand and tugged at it gently. No, you sit. Please? Rosa complied. Katherine revealed a bottle about 3/4 full. Snuck another one from the giddy monster's closet. Serves him right for calling me a child. Rosa began to protest. Katherine paid her no mind. Come on, Rosa. When have we ever drunk ourselves to the point of insanity? And I call you my best friend. Katherine took a huge swig of the bittersweet liquid and offered it to Rosa. Rosa examined it carefully and took a mouthful. She gargled it in her mouth, admiring the sweet and sour flavor of the wine. I've never had anything this rich before. Good, right? It had to be. It's the last bottle. Jeez. So, he had another fight with Shush, bad wind follows that name. I'm not talking about the egocentric pompadour tonight. We are going to drink. We are going to reminisce, and tomorrow we'll hate ourselves together. Agreed? Rosa giggled. If you say so. Oh my goodness. All right, last one. Rosa puffed her cheeks in mock disgust. Fine. How do you make holy water? Oh, this is gonna be good. Oh, guys, pay attention. This is gonna be good. How? Haven't heard that one before. Boil the hell out of it. Rosa and Katherine were assaulted by fits of hysteric laughter. Katherine felt the muscles of her cheeks ache. That is so bad I don't even have the words. Katherine wiped the tears of laughter from her eyes. I heard that one from your suitors, Sir Adrian. Rosa rolled her eyes. How come I always end up talking to your suitors more than you? I must start charging you a fee. I'll pay it with my gratitude. What is wrong with Sir Adrian anyway? He seems like a nice man. Nice hair, nice teeth, nicely groomed mutton chops. The women laughed. How about Sire Ferrand? He sent you that lovely bouquet of flowers. I am not interested in a relationship at the moment. At the moment? You don't seem interested ever. I am. Sometimes. It is just hard to connect to people for me beyond relationships seem out of the question. You don't have difficulty with me or that idiot in the upper room. It means you are not incapable. That is only because you are my closest friends. Well, there must be someone. Oh, you are so picky, and if you go on like that, you must end up in an old maid. So be it. I'd rather take care of your children anyway. I shall be the amazing godmother. Katherine smiled wistfully. I'm not sure I want any. What? Children. I love children, but it's a little scary. Yes, I'm right with you there on that one, Katherine. Katherine bit her lip. What if she becomes her own mother? It was such a terrifying possibility, wasn't it? She barely remembered her mother. Her malady had struck as soon as Katherine was born. She never called Katherine by her name, not even on the day she had died. All she knew was that their family struggled with that crisis, her father exhausted and depressed, and her sisters forced to grow up too fast. To be a blight to the people you love, how horrible would it be? Katherine. Rosa smiled at her, interrupting her thoughts. You will be a good mother. Your past does not matter. Katherine stared at Rosa, almost enchanted at her ability to know what she was thinking. She really was her best friend, wasn't she? She thought, warmed by her heart. You really think so? Yes. The fact that you were so concerned about them before they are even born speaks much of your kindness. Whatever happens, those children will grow up loved. Katherine blushed and changed the subject. Oh, we're out of booze. We finished it. I'm quite buzzed. Hey, remember the first time we drank? Do you mean that party or the potato incident? Of course I mean the potato incident. Oh, how could I forget? Rosa burst out laughing. That was hilarious. Wench, stop laughing. I almost went to jail. Goodness, I was so stupid. Rosa laughed again. Amen. Hey, you're supposed to say no, Katherine. We do dumb things when we're young. Katherine, we do dumb things when we're young. It's about time you learn your lesson. I can't wait to tell your children endless tales of your shenanigans. Wench. Tut, tut. Katherine grabbed Rosa's waist and attempted to tickle her, but Rosa slipped away laughing. Katherine's stomach lurched and she stopped, her hands still hugging Rosa's waist. The room spun, but it wasn't unpleasant. She felt like being gently rocked in a cradle. She closed her eyes and smiled. She took in Rosa's scent, always smelling slightly like apples. Rosa scratched her head and smoothed her hair. This is nice. Yes. Rosa. Thank you for being with me. Of course. No, I mean. She sat up on the bed. You've been with me all my life. You were my oldest friend. When we first met, I didn't have many friends. I just studied my piano lessons night and day because that's all I ever knew to do. It was all I had. Maybe that was why I begged Papa to let you stay with us. I was so happy. Rosa smiled fondly at the memory. You were there for me, always. Ugh, that sounds disgustingly melodramatic. You're drunk, I understand. They laughed again. Would you like to hear something worse? What? You changed my life. Ugh, that is worse. Rosa smiled fondly as she played with Katherine's hair. I'm the lucky one, Katherine. You took me home and treated me like I was family. I wouldn't have known what a real family was like without you. Papa Francois and Emily. Even if Papa Francois always did avoid me, I knew he cared for me like his own. Yes, why is that? That was why I liked him. He was a good man. And you know Gillian was almost family too. Katherine made a face at the mention of the man, but her eyes softened. There was a pause. Katherine shifted awkwardly in her skin. Can I tell you a secret? Of course. Gilliam and I... Whoa! Okay then. We haven't had intercourse. Recently? No. I mean, at all. Oh. Rosa cleared her throat. I see. After all these years? Well, after the first time, never again. Rosa blushed. Her head knitted together. Images of the two people she considered her friends. Rosa tried to push them away, but all she was able to do was paint the warped fantasies in gossamer and fuzz. She cleared her throat. Is that why you have separate rooms, even when we moved here to the chateau? No, that was his idea. He's very peculiar with his sleep. I imagine we'll be keeping the separate bedrooms even when we get married. I don't really mind. Well, your wedding is soon, isn't it? Perhaps you were just nervous. No, I don't think it's like that. Recently we'd get intimate, but I always stopped when things get too sultry. Ooh. Okay, then. Oh, he gets upset sometimes, but he said it's all right. Katherine looked down ruefully on her toes. He doesn't push me into it. I should be glad. But these days, when we ask them to stop, nope. I'm not going too much into that conversation. Don't you think it's strange? What if I stay like this even after we get married? I don't understand why. Sometimes I get these doubts, and I wonder why they are there. Isn't that unfair for him? I just feel like there is something wrong with me. There is nothing wrong with you. But it makes me really insecure. This lack of, what if he's getting it somewhere else? Drives me crazy. And believe me, I want to. I just can't for some reason. I get this horrible feeling I can't explain. Rosa examined Katherine's face and came to a conclusion. It took me a while. Okay, we're getting into this conversation. Buckle up, guys. It took me a while to understand sex. The sudden no-nonsense comment surprised Katherine. Rosa went on. I was the same as you. I had always had an adverse feeling for it, like it's dirty and that I should be ashamed for enjoying it. I had always thought love would... I'm acting so immature, but honestly, I am not good with this conversation. Okay, moving on. But that's not how it works. They are two separate things. So just because you don't like sex, it doesn't mean you don't love him, Kath. Katherine looked up at her. But why do you even care so much to hurt him? Who do you think love is? Or what? The warm feeling returned to Katherine's heart. How do you do that? Huh? You always know the right thing to say, always. Rosa blushed at this, suddenly aware that they were still in a loose tangle of an embrace. I've read a lot of smart books lately. She tried to defuse the situation with a laugh, but Katherine didn't drop her book. Look. Candlelight played pretty shadows on her skin. It illuminated the glint in her eyes, the moist on her lips. Rosa felt the warmth of the alcohol rise up to her face. Her heartbreak increased steadily. Her heart beat. Sorry, it's hard to see the words. Anyway, maybe you'll feel better about it when you are married. You're probably just nervous about the whole thing. She made attempts to curl away from Katherine's arms. Slowly, subtly run away. Dispersed proximity, but she couldn't run away from her stare. Katherine's hand caressed Rosa's face. She touched her scars daintily, tracing them with her fingers. You're really pretty, Rosa, especially when you smile. Thank you, I think. You don't believe me? I don't think I am. I look into the mirror and I see a freak. Rosa, that's not true. It is fine. I like being a freak. I wanted to be ugly. I used to bind my breasts and hide them in the shabbiest clothes I could find. Rosa touched her eye. This was penance, she remembered herself saying, for being a sinner and a freak, for attracting attention and spite, for dressing nicely, for letting her hair grow long. But really, I did this to myself. To hide. To hide? Rosa's mouth quivered. I thought people don't touch ugly things. Oh, Rosa. But the truth is they do, so what? I'd rather be invisible. Katherine wrapped her arms around Rosa's neck. She heard Katherine sniff and wipe tears behind her embrace. Ah. She pushed Rosa's hair away and kissed her defective eye. You're not a freak, and you're not ugly. I love every part of you. They're all beautiful. Rosa forgot how close they were now, forgot Katherine's hand on her own. Here was somebody who accepted her with all her faults and ugliness. You always made me feel I am worth something. Because you are. You are beautiful, Rosa, inside and out. Rosa saw her face reflected in Katherine's eyes. In them she did indeed look beautiful. A lump formed in Rosa's throat. Katherine's face hovered above her cheek. She planted a little seed of a kiss on it, just barely away from her lips. Rosa kissed her nose in return. It made Katherine giggle. We're about to... Oh, boy. At first, the kisses were sweet, innocent. the kind of punch and drink kisses that sent them both into bouts of giggling. But Catherine's hand caressed her neck. The kisses lingered. Ooh, boy. Lips melded. Hands explored, and Rosa sucked in Catherine's tongue inside her mouth. Oh. Oh. Okay. Alright. Cool. Alright. Wine. Candle wax. Spit. That was what it tasted like. Someone eating candle wax? 'Cause that's not normal. Rosa's head began to swoon. Katherine... We're all mature here, so we're just gonna get past this chapter the best we can. We're just gonna get right through it, okay? Sorry if I read a little too fast. Catherine's hand squeezed her right breast. Tripe, grapes, plush. Oh, there goes her heart. Rosa began to taste more of her. Longing, regrets, tears. A sensational flavor she had never tasted before hovering at the edge of her tongue. Suddenly she was hungry for it. Take it all. Rosa savored the taste. She breathed deeply. All mine. Child! I want it. Her heart. I want her heart. Her love is sweet. Listen to my voice. Mother? But I'm so hungry. So hungry. Stop! Rosa flung her eyes open. A sinking feeling of menace overcame her. No! Rosa pulled away. She pushed Katherine away from her face. Catherine's eyes snapped open, startled by Rosa's outburst. Why did you stop? Greedy, selfish bitch. She blinked for a few seconds. A look of horror creeped on her face. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean... No, Kath. Rosa couldn't stand the hurt in her eyes. She's probably blaming herself. Rosa wanted to show how wrong she was, but the lump in her throat became a rapacious mouth. A tumor had grown inside of her, a parasite. She could feel it pulse and slither inside her neck. Ew, that's gross. She couldn't speak at all. Katherine wobbled after bed. She wiped her mouth and cheeks covered with a thin layer of drool. Stop it! What are you doing? I'm trying to play a game here. I'm so sorry, Rosa. I'm going to leave now. Kath, good night. Rosa should have followed her. But when she tried to stand, the floor twirled. She choked at the flavor left in her throat, and sick and cloying, sticky, sweet like honey. The taste both repulsed and enticed her. Thick spit leaked out of her mouth. She felt the urge to vomit. This is nothing, Mother. Just a bad after effect on alcohol. No. Please don't call me that. It was an accident. Everything is fine. She would talk to Katherine tomorrow, assure her that this was not her fault. Everything was fine. Was it? I mean, that was pretty intense. There was an urgent knock at Gilliam's door. The clock read 2:15 in the morning. He closed his journal and stood up from his desk. Yes, coming. He opened his door. Oh, Katherine, you're drunk. You're still drunk. You don't. Oh no. Is what gonna happen? I think it's gonna happen. That was English. I'm sorry. Katherine stood in front of him, her cheeks stained with hastily wiped tears. Kath. Gilliam, can we talk? Oh, isn't it quite late? Please, it's urgent. Oh, all right. Gilliam led her inside. Lady, you smell like my vintage bottle of that said wine that I will not pronounce because I will butcher the name. Did you get so drunk you actually thought of apologizing first? I didn't think I'd see the day. Cherie, what is wrong? Catherine's thumb went to her mouth without thinking. How could she even begin to tell Gillian what she had done? Honestly, I was really upset with you today, so despite any good sense, I went and got myself drunk. This time I dragged Rosa along with me. Things have a tendency to go out of hand when alcohol is involved, as you know. Long story short, I came unto Rosa. You know Rosa, the girl who was almost like my sister? Yes, I may have forced myself on her. And I did that right after she took... Oh, God. I'm sorry for blowing up your ears. She felt Gilliam's hand take her thumb away from her mouth. Kath. She looked at her fingers in horror. Her habit had surfaced again. She thought she had gotten rid of this as she grew up. replacing the nail biting with a meticulous, almost obsessive care for her fingers. My fingers are my livelihood. I must take care of them. Now the nails were chewed down to jagged stubs, and a couple of them had tiny blistering cuts. Kath, can you talk? Catherine's eyes snapped back to Gilliam as if he had just materialized in the room beside her. So yes, like I was saying, darling, which is the worst thing, what do you think? This implied incest, my abuse of my best friend, or my infidelity to you. Or if that doesn't cut it, my dear, may I divulge to you one last point? I felt something worrying when I kissed her. Excitement. If she hadn't stopped me, something else would have... It felt so real I didn't like a mistake. It didn't feel like a mistake. It felt like it had always been there, buried deeply. So much so that it felt like cheating. It was like a craving. I wanted it. It was something I haven't felt with you when we... Why is this happening? I don't know. I don't even know who I am anymore. Kath, you are scaring me. Tell me what's wrong. Would you still want to marry me? Would you still love me if you knew? I wouldn't. I can't even look at myself in the mirror, but I think I know who I am now. I am a selfish, depraved bitch. I have always been a controlling, jealous lover to you, and just one night for drunken frenzy, I went and took advantage of the two people I care for the most. Not enough wine to justify this. I want to call off the engagement. Oh no, really? Oh, what's happening? At first, Katherine saw that Gilliam treated it as a joke, but then the panic in his eyes set in immediately. What? I said, I'm calling off the engagement. Well, I refuse. You don't have a choice. I'm leaving tomorrow. No, not until you tell me what's wrong. Gilliam's eyes didn't flinch. These were the looks he gave her that melted her heart. They were so sure and steadfast in their care. They were just fighting this morning, a fight she had started as usual, yet there was no doubt in his eyes at all. If she were to see that certainty fade away from his eyes, she knew it would break her. Is it about the fight earlier? Because, Kath, I swear to you, I haven't done any of it. No, stop. Hearing him reinstate his devotion to her just made it more painful. Tears pooled in her eyes and fell in huge, ugly globs. She had been doing so well, too. She hadn't thought she could hold it in until she left. She wiped her tears as best she could, but more kept pouring out. It isn't about that. And what is it? What do you want me to do? Whatever it is, I shall do it. It was so hard. Why did this have to be so hard? Why did she even go here? Because she wanted to see his face. She wondered what it would be like for a cheater to go back to the arms of her lover. Wouldn't it change somehow? Did she still love him? How could she even tell? All their emotions were wrapped in a thick layer of guilt. It was hard to distinguish every painful thought. She'd started to sob now, yes indeed. Ugly, unflattering snorts came out of her nose. It felt comforting to hold on to guilt. Its existence made the hatred towards herself a bit less. Katherine, please tell me what's bothering you. I don't deserve you. I'm a horrible person. You ought to find someone else to marry. Katherine let the words tumble out of her mouth, slightly relieved to be rid of them. She looked tearfully up at Gilliam to gauge his reaction, but he just stared back at her blankly. Why wouldn't he say anything? Katherine sobbed, fearing the worst. Gilliam cleared his throat and spoke hesitantly. Could you repeat that? He cupped his hand to his ear and angled it closer to her face. He apparently hadn't caught any of her heartfelt words. Katherine snarled angrily at him. You idiot! I'm having a breakdown here. But I didn't understand what you said. I said you ought to find someone else because I am a horrible person. Gilliam pulled her to him. Oh, that's it? Whatever made you think that I'll accept that reason? Katherine's tears soaked his shirt. You don't know what I've done. Then tell me. You'll hate me. I guarantee it. Whoa! Wow, okay. Did you punch a baby? No. The inside joke made her laugh out of the blue. She buried her face in his chest and half sob, half laugh. Suddenly her doubts were cleared. Suddenly she didn't want to marry anyone else. Katherine's arms tightened around Gilliam's waist. I've been taking you for granted, haven't I? I've been arrogant, expecting you to always adjust to me and my whims. A new fervor sprung out of her love for him. I don't deserve you right now, but I'll work on that, if you give me another chance. First she would tell him what she had done, then it would be up to him if he still wanted her. He deserved that decision. What I did, but Gilliam stopped her with a kiss on her forehead. Tomorrow, after a hearty breakfast and a good night's rest, I'll listen to what you have to say, though I am quite sure my answer will be the same. Katherine's face melted into a smile and he beamed at her. My star finally smiles. Katherine wiped her eyes. I love you so much, she sighed with content, part of her anxiety put to rest. I do, I really do. She whispered that one last under her breath, trying to console herself. Gilliam? Yes, dear? Will you? My God! Oh, my goodness. Okay. Alright. Will you make love to me? Yikes. Gilliam's brow shut up in surprise. Right now? Yes? No? Well, if you're not ready, later is also fine. Or tomorrow. But since it's already morning, then technically it is today, right? Gilliam's head tilted slightly and a amused smirk plastered on his face. Please take me seriously, Gilliam. This is important to me. I have to know. I have to make sure. Make sure of what? Katherine? Gilliam held her hand. I think you are tired. And just a little bit too barmy. More than usual, I mean. But this is what we'll do. Gilliam guided the woman to the bed and sat her down. We are going to lay on the bed. I am going to pat your hair until you fall asleep. I shall skip work today. Have that trifling little talk you want. And as such, you're still in the love-making type of mood. Then, mademoiselle, I will take you up on your offer. Oh, they're finally gonna do it. Yay! Oh, boy. Oh. Katherine's eyes moistened, but this time they were happy tears. I love you. Gilliam shrugged and lifted Katherine's legs up on the bed. I love you too. And aren't you lucky? Save it! He climbed on the bed beside her. Katherine draped her arm over him. He searched for her hand, brought it up to his lips, and patted it. She closed her eyes and rested her head on her chest, comforted by the warmth of his embrace. Mon Cho, can I ask you something? Why do you love me so much? Gilliam mused for a while. Is that a trick question? It feels like a trick question. Katherine whined. All right, I shall humor you for now, because you are in such a pathetic state. I love you simply because it's easy to love you, darling. You are my star, my light. You keep me right, always. You make me want to do good by you, to be a better person. You aren't even my wife yet, but the townspeople are already calling you their lady. I may have to hand you the Marquis's dome myself. This is only because everyone in town knows who I am. Oh, I wonder why that is. Is it because you help sell vegetables in the marketplace on weekends? Or is it because you conspire with my cooks to hold impromptu picnics with the locals? You know about that? One can only sneak out that much food without getting noticed, madame. It amuses me how the servants cover for you upon inquiry as well. It was my idea. They're not to blame. I know, darling, I know. Gilliam chuckled and kissed her temple. It goes to show you how your presence uplifts everyone's lives, including mine. But honestly, those reasons aren't exactly why. I love you, Kath, I just do, beyond what I thought I was capable of. Katherine's heart cracked with his last utterance. If I did something bad, would you still love me? Yes, I would. Now that is a man. That is a wonderful, caring man. We all deserve someone like him. The world deserves more men like him. Are you sure? I'm sure. What if I've hurt an innocent person? What if I've hurt you? She bit her lip. What if I was unfaithful? Gilliam stared at her questioningly. Katherine buried her face in his chest. She felt his hand smooth away her hair. He whispered gently into her ear. If you still have me, come back to me. Chew. What happened doesn't matter at all. You are not mistakes, Kath. I don't think I read that right. Also, I may not know what I'm talking about. Sorry, I'm recording this late. Gilliam cleared his throat. Suddenly, he seemed to have trouble breathing. You have the power to change. Oh, that's so beautiful. How about you? If I told you that I am not what I say I am, would you? What do you mean? Never mind. It's a silly question. What? Is something bothering you, Joe? Gilliam turned his head away and closed his eyes. Nothing, darling. We should sleep now. No, you're trying to avoid something. Katherine patted away the frown on his brow. She traced his cheeks with her fingers. Gilliam, I do love you. Now I am more than certain. It gives my heart happiness to know for sure. What reminded me was your generosity. You give every bit of yourself to the people you love. Do you know that? Because I have to, darling. Well, you always have inspired me, Cho. I have always looked up to you. You treat everyone, no matter their status, with kindness. Never have I met a man more generous and thoughtful about others. A man with so much love to give. And that is why I love you. You are a good man. But if that's not what I really am, Katherine shook her head. You can't fake sacrifice, Ma and Cho. I have seen you care for the people in this town. I've seen how you've loved me. I don't care much for intention, you see. It's what we actually do that defines us. Gilliam paused, his voice choked up in his throat. Not always. Not always. Gilliam found Katherine's hand on his face and squeezed it. She stretched her neck and kissed his cheek. Katherine, you are always scared I will leave you. But the truth is, I know it is you who will leave me. And it hurts. What? You are different. I've loved you for so long. It scares me how deep I have rooted myself. Sometimes I deem it better to end this wretched existence. To save you from... What are you talking about, Gilliam? You're not making any sense. Is it your turn to scare me? I'm sorry. They didn't speak for a while. The air became a little uncomfortable. She could feel Gilliam's stressful breathing on her forehead. Katherine wondered what Gilliam was talking about. I think he's talking about ending his own life. To not torture you. That'll make it worse. That'll just make it worse. But it didn't seem like he wanted to discuss it further. When Gilliam started to calm down, Katherine thought it was best to sleep and ask him about it the next day. But Gilliam spoke again. His voice was low and serious. Katherine, do you love me? With all my heart, Gilliam. I've loved you for what it seems like my whole life. The candle flickered. Gilliam slipped his hands on Katherine's hair and gently pushed her face towards his. She closed her eyes and let the sensation of his lips take her. His mouth left sweet traces on her skin, as if washing away her sins, blessing her, anointing her. Katherine tasted salt in his kiss, like the taste of tears. Why? Because he's full of salt. She wanted to take away all his sorrows. Gilliam held her tightly. Longingly, she drowned herself in his embrace. His palm caressed her neck, and as he kissed her, sliding down her arm and the curve of her waist, his fingers tugged gently on her skin. Katherine darted her tongue inside his mouth, and Gilliam answered it with his own. She wanted his every kiss. She felt pleasure knowing he was theirs. Her hands ran up and down his back, and their kisses grew heavier. Gilliam broke away. Kath, let's stop. You're tired. Oh! That's amazing on how he cares so much. And I feel like he's doing that because he doesn't want to take advantage of her because she's tired, and that's lovely. That is amazing. Katherine looked into his eyes and saw he wanted her despite his protests. After the events of that night, there was a despair in Katherine that longed to be quenched. It was a selfish atonement, perhaps a hunger for self-worth. She ran her tongue over his lips. You're just tired, Katherine. You should really tone it down. You should wait when you're not tired and hysterical. I want this, Kath. Katherine sat up beside him, massaging his shoulders and neck. She dipped her head and gave him a long, deep kiss. Oh my God, it's happening! But even though he told her not to. Oh no. She opened his shirt. nibbling on his ear as she did. Strong jawline. The clench of his jaw, his aroused breath, the cord of his neck. There were her little trophies, her bliss. Katherine pulled his shirt free. Oh my God. She traced a finger down his bare stomach. She watched in ecstasy as he bit his lip. To know that he couldn't resist her made her swell with pride. Gilliam sat up in the bed, finally reaching for her, finally giving in. It felt like a victory to her. Oh, okay. So, we're just gonna skip this. We're gonna skip it, sorry. Okay, fast forward, skip. Okay. This is bad. This is really bad. I don't know how to, Oops. Yeah, no. I will be right back. I'm going to skip this part, because, for reasons and such. Sorry, I'll be right back. Okay, yes, I know. I said I would skip until this weird scene was over, but she did say something, and, she caught something in the darkness, and she's saying that he didn't look like Gilliam in the shadows, unlit by candlelit. So he looks different. So, I wasn't gonna skip this part, despite, jelly beans now. Despite the very, intense scene that's going on right now. So we're just gonna continue. Just bear with me, okay? I'm sorry about this. His features were the same. His eyes were in the same place. His nose and lips were the same shape. But this man was a stranger. He did not care for her. Like how a snake didn't care for its prey. For a brief second she was afraid. A tiny voice told her to run away. That voice was washed away by a wave of calm out desire. The stranger grinned at Katherine. Mine. Oh, ew, no. This is not okay. I don't know whether this is a good thing that's happening, or if she's being raped against her own will. Ah! Sorry, that thought just... No to that. Okay, whatever. We're just gonna get through this. Faster now. Deeper his kisses went, as if reaching for something inside her. His weight on her body excited her, but it also felt like a prison. Run, rabbit! Run, rabbit, run! Katherine viciously devoured his lips. Her hands cruised south, kneading and clutching greedily. Her legs were draped around his waist. A force overtook her, a hunger. Here comes the farmer's gun! She tried to ignore the growing coldness in Gilliam's eyes. She tried to ignore the way her body moved on its own. Run, rabbit! Run, rabbit, run. Her hands found the clasps of his trousers and she undid them. Quickly now, quickly. He bit on her shoulder. She felt more of his teeth and his lips on her body. Katherine scolded herself for being aroused. Her mounting terror only served to aggravate her urges. She wanted this. I want this. She was hungry. We're not hungry, and we don't want this. I'm not sure what's going on right now, but I feel nauseous. I'm not okay with this. I literally feel like I'm gonna throw up right now. I am hungry. She heard the man snicker. He wants his farmer's pie. Well, can we get, cheesecake? Something about putting my fingers in her pie. Oh God. Okay. Too much Aerosmith. So don't stand idly by. I'm so sorry. I just got really hungry all of a sudden. Run, rabbit, run. His tongue raked her neck. He gripped her hair so tight it hurt. Katherine gasped. The shiver was from both pleasure and fear, a dangerous mix. But it was cruel. There was no warmth, just cold, hard greed. Now there's a difference between making love I actually don't know where I'm going with this. I have no idea what this is. But it's not a good thing. Okay, continuing on, and yet she couldn't help but want him. She wanted to please him. You shouldn't do that to this weirdo. He's a creepy weirdo, and you should stop. You should just get up and run away. What? Oh my god, is he a vampire? No, just kidding. With her every movement, Katherine felt her energy wither away. A heady, nauseous feeling of malady was clawing at her. What was missing? What was taken away? She didn't know what was going on until it was the final scream of protest died in her mind. The last that was left of her lucidity to urge the escape left. No more reasons to stop. Katherine moaned. Stop? No, I must not stop. Why did I even think that? What if he'd hate her? It was an agonizing thought. She had to give him more. More. His eyes observed her with cold amusement. Katherine touched his chest in reverence. His eyes were cold, but his body was like fire. I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. What? Okay. I don't know what you are, but you are beautiful. In her mind's eye, he had started to become something else, a winged creature engulfed in flame, both hot and cold and magnificent, both beautiful and terrible, both dark and light. At times she would be on the bed with a man she might remember as one she once loved. Other times she would be floating and suspended on a dark chasm of flesh. There was a creature with her, somebody she both loathed and adored. Sometimes there were two people, sometimes there was only him. Only him. The woman called Katherine didn't exist. She was merely an extension of his mind. Soon all of her would be gone, little by little disintegrating to be a part of him forever. Oh, bliss. She was prepared to give everything to him. It didn't even seem a worthy sacrifice to lay at his feet. But no, all he asked for was her heart. That small, pathetic thing. It had always been his, anyway. She gave it gleefully. He was so generous and considerate, benevolent, fair. She worshipped him. He was her god. Please want me. Please find me pretty. She craved his love above anything else. Above fear and confusion. Above the mourning at something precious lost. Love me, please. Love me, she begged. I'll do anything for you. Anything? His lips did not move, save for a smile. The words simply dropped in her head, echoed and took root. Katherine's eyes lost their glimmer. Anything? Then tell me again. I want to hear it. No, I don't think so. Do you love me, Katherine? Her name on his lips was the only reminder of her former self. I do. I love you. I love you so much. A wave of fire burned her lips as their mouths entwined. Oh boy. Okay, his passion heightened, his back arched. Sweat beaded on his forehead and traced his temple. What a wondrous sight. He was ice beginning to thaw, a sun on the verge of eclipse. His coldness replaced by a radiating heat that melted and fastened her to him like fire with metal. Really? Do you really love me? Or she just said it like 5 times, very passionately. So, yes. So stop asking her. Yes, she screamed. Yes. The candle fizzed out. Beneath the depths of her hazy mind, she was relieved she didn't have to look at his face. Is this happening in the dark? She tastes just like the richest chocolate, the finest wine. I can't stop. My whole body shivers with the taste of her. Her breath on my neck. Her fingers scratching at my back. Her lust gives me sustenance to move faster, to devour her faster. Stop! I knew waiting so long would be worth it. I have been her lover for years, and this flavor is divine. My head spins. My appetite swells. I can't stop. I can feel her excitement mounting with her helplessness. I lick my lips in delight. I haven't breathed so deeply for a long time. You're taking too much. Her love is exquisite. It is laced with anger, reverence, disappointment, pain, memories, all different relishes and morsels melding into one. Stop it! Her love is delicacy. You're destroying her. Wait, what is going on right now? I am completely lost. I can't stop myself. I haven't tasted this kind of love for so long. Flirtations and physical attraction can only get me by far for so long. I was going to wait. There is a waning in her love. Confusion, doubt, but the helping of guilt tinged the flavor perfectly. I must feed now. Her love is the most perfect tonight. My body wants her. I couldn't stop now even if I wanted to. Ew. I am not okay with this, okay? I couldn't stop now even if I wanted to. I just read that. Liar. And I almost let you escape. To save her, I almost ran away. I love her. I love her. And tomorrow, maybe, what will become of her? I will find another. Next time. Something insignificant. I want to relish this taste a bit more. No! No! With every move, I feel her love osmose into my other mouth. Did he just say other mouth? Okay. Random, realistic tone. What have you done? Why did you ask me to play this game? She clings to me, her moans louder, her bare chest glistens of sweat. She is beautiful. It won't be long now. A final drawing of breath. Do you love me, Katherine? Give me all your love. Literally, she's giving you everything. I mean, you're taking it from her. She's completely helpless. All of it. Give it to me. I want it all. It's mine. Mine. Katherine, give me more. I want more. More. M-O-R-E. Okay, well, I guess... What the hell is going on? Rosa stood in front of the door to Katherine's room, her hand raised to knock, but she didn't move. Doubt was creeping into her mind like a spider crawling on a wall. She remembered the feeling of hunger from the night they had kissed. It was both familiar and utterly alien, like an instinct, an urge she hadn't felt for a long time. A shiver ran down her spine at the memory. She's avoiding me, isn't she? She hadn't seen Katherine for a few days since that night. She had been spending a lot of her time alone, locked away in her room. Whenever Rosa saw her in the chateau, she would excuse herself and leave. Rosa never got the courage to push the issue. But days had passed and Katherine's behavior began to worry her even more. Selfish just like everyone else. Yeah, probably, maybe. What did you expect? She's selfish, just like everybody else. She used you as an experiment, and now that her curiosity is sated, she's done with you. You don't matter to her. You probably never did. Which is a good thing, darling. You see her true face. No matter. She's never going to love you like Mother does. Like all the others, she's going to leave you in the end, and then you're all alone. Only Mother will stay with you forever and love you. So be a good child and listen to what I tell you. Rosa bit her lower lip. This was all her fault, wasn't it? She needed to make it right. If Rosa talked to her properly, she was sure they would come to an understanding. She had to explain to her. What exactly? They had both been drunk and the kisses didn't mean anything? Her stomach churned at this thought. In the end, it didn't matter what Rosa wanted. Katherine obviously regretted what had happened. She didn't want to lose her friend because of too much wine. Rosa gently knocked on Katherine's door. Katherine, may I come in? Please, Katherine, I'm sorry for the mess, but we can talk. Rosa waited for an answer. None came. Rosa turned the handle slowly and entered. Oh no! Is it Dad? Usually Katherine's room was brightly lit. The windows let in a fresh breeze, often carrying the sweet smell of flowers in spring. Right now, however, the curtains were drawn closed. The few candles burning on the desk weren't enough to banish the darkness completely. Oh, what is going on right now? Sorry. Okay. The air hung heavily in the room. Katherine didn't turn around when the door opened. Yikes. She just stood there unmoving in front of a wall. Sounds of something scratching along a rough surface filled the air. Rosa felt a shiver run down her spine at the sound. and her muscles tensed instinctively. She approached Katherine slowly and apprehensively. When she came closer, she could hear that Katherine was whispering the same few words over and over again. He loves me. He loves me not. Katherine giggled. He loves me. He loves me not. Katherine, are you all right? Rosa stepped next to Katherine and peered at her outstretched hand. In the dim light, it took a moment for her to make sense of what she saw, and what is she doing? Ugh. Why? What the heck? Did he possess her? Katherine was scratching at the wall. The damage she had done to the wall was nothing compared to what she had done to her fingers. Kath? Oh my God! Katherine, stop! Rosa's guts twisted horribly. She grabbed Katherine's shoulder to turn around away from the wall. She blinked a couple of times before finally reacting to Rosa's presence. Tears welled up in Katherine's bloodshot eyes at the sight of her friend, spilling over her pale cheeks and chapped lips. She held on tightly to Rosa and started sobbing uncontrollably. Kath, what's going on? Why are you hurting yourself? Katherine tried to pull herself together as best she could, wiping her nose on the sleeve of her soiled dress. It was heart-wrenching to look at the mess that her friend had become. Oh, Rosa, you need to help me. You need to protect me from him. Rose, don't let him touch me. Who? How did what? Why do you need me to protect you? Suddenly, Katherine hushed her. A finger to her lips, and with a scared expression on her face, she leaned an ear towards the door and listened intently for a moment. Oh, he's here? His scared expression turned into manic and frightened glee. I think he's coming. Gilliam, honey! Gilliam, I love you! Well, clearly the way you are acting right now, you are absolutely afraid of him, and he's done something to you, and now... This is fucked up. After yelling the last words, Katherine started sobbing again, with more tears streaming down her face. Before Rosa could try to console her, however, her sobs faded into hysterical laughter. It barely left time for her to gasp for breath. Oh, Gilliam, I love the way you pull me close to hug me. And now, how kind you are to everyone you meet. And your eyes. What's going on here? Yikes. Hi, you creepy son of a... you're not really human. We all know. We have proof. Gilliam stood in the door, frowning. His eyes wandered across the room and caught sight of Katherine. His face frozen in shock. Katherine stared wide-eyed for a second and snarled at him like a ferocious animal. You bastard! Get out of my room! Get lost! She stormed over to the desk and grabbed the letter opener from the table. With this weapon in a firm grip and malice in her eyes, she rushed to Gilliam. Don't you dare show your face to me! Katherine, no! The knife plunged into Gilliam's arm. Blood quickly stained his sleeve red. Katherine only recoiled to strike back with no hint of stopping. Oh my God! Gilliam! It wrestled for a moment until Gillian was able to grab Katherine's hand. She dropped the letter opener and slumped to the floor, sobbing uncontrollably. Rosa quickly picked up the blade and stepped out of reach. When she turned around again, Gilliam had already pulled Katherine into a tight embrace. Between her sobs and hiccups, Rosa could hear her apologizing. Oh God, I'm so sorry, Gilliam. What? I'm so sorry. Do you love me? Please, Gilliam, do you love me? She repeated the question over and over again, no matter how many times Gilliam reassured her. It was probably a good idea to find something to calm her down. Rosa didn't feel completely at ease doing so, but she left her friend alone with the Marquis for a few minutes. Later, she returned with a glass of water laced with valerian root. Gilliam had already coaxed Katherine to lie down on her bed, while Rosa helped drink the nightcap. They watched her in silence as she drifted off into a fitful sleep. Gilliam and Rosa left the room. They didn't speak for a while, both still dazed and shocked by the turn of events. How is your arm? Gilliam hid the injured arm away from view. Fine. Just a scratch. It is just a minor flesh wound. The bleeding hadn't stopped yet. Rosa could tell the cut was deeper than Gilliam let on. What is happening? What has gotten into Katherine? Gilliam just shrugged with a cold expression of worry on his face. I wish I knew, Rosa. The state she is in scares me, to be honest. It might be an onset of an episode waiting to happen, like her sister before. Rosa's mouth tightened. How dare you say that? She's not crazy. Okay, well, Rosa, we all know right now, by past events, that she might be a little cuckoo. Okay? She's a bit crazy. Rosa searched his face for traces of a lie, but it was like a mask contorted by worry. She couldn't tell whether he was lying or telling the truth. She asked me to protect her from you. Did you hurt her? You know I wouldn't. She's unwell. It seems I am the target of her psychotic state. That is all I know. But why? Stop. Stop it, Rosa. It hurts me too, seeing her like this. Please stop questioning me further. I am going to call for a physician. Please stay with her in the meantime. See that she doesn't harm herself again. For a moment he met her eyes. Before she could say more, however, he turned around and left. See if his pants have caught fire yet, my child. There was nothing she could do about him for now. Rosa left to get a bowl of fresh water and a towel to tend to Catherine's fingers. Yeah, I don't know why you do not stop being weird, game. Katherine had an uneasy sleep while Rosa cleaned her wounds as best as she could. She muttered, squealed, and whimpered like a child. He seemed that she was having a nightmare, but Rosa didn't dare wake her before the physician arrived. Instead, she stroked her hair, told her that everything would be all right. She tried to appease the growing confusion of voices in her head. What had happened between Katherine and Gilliam? Their relationship was often erratic, but Rosa dismissed the possibility that this one was one of their usual fights. Rosa remembered Catherine's face, filled with utter spite at the man. She had never seen that much hatred in Katherine. After a few minutes, Catherine's eyelids fluttered open. She looked around with some confusion, then her gaze settled on Rosa. Tears welled up in her eyes. Rosa! Rosa held out her outstretched hand. Her heart broke when she saw Katherine wince. I didn't do that. I swear to God, I didn't. Okay. You know what? I'm just going to press spacebar. Oh, Rosa, I'm so scared. Everything is such a mess. It's going to be all right, Kath. Don't worry now. Just try to sleep some more. No, you don't understand. Katherine tried to sit up, but Rosa pushed her down gently. You need rest, Kath. I hate him. This is all his fault. She sniffled, but settled down on her pillow once more. When she spoke again, it was in a whisper. Rosa, She chewed on her dry, chapped lips for a moment, as if she couldn't get the words out. I don't think I love him anymore. What? A dry sob escaped her, followed by tears rolling down her cheeks. Had Katherine really just said that? But I don't understand this. When I think of him, Her voice cracked. She shuddered under the blanket like an ill breeze had just sprung up in the room. It's like bugs are crawling under my skin. Oh, I just got the chills from that. I can't bear to look at him anymore. I just can't. I can't even say his name. Why? Do you remember when exactly you started feeling this way? That night. Rosa winced. Katherine covered her face with her hands. It was a horrible night. Rosa's chest hurt. Was this her fault? She didn't know what she had done, but didn't she do something to her? I'm sorry. Katherine went on like she hadn't heard her. I went to his room. We spent the night together. Rosa waited for Katherine to continue, but the girl stared blankly. She just stopped speaking as if forgetting she ever spoke at all. Kath, did he hurt you that night? No. Maybe? Katherine shook her head. I don't know. She grabbed her head and sobbed. The grip on Rosa's heart tightened. How can this be? Her eyes drowned in tears. I love him, Rosa, don't I? I remember everything. I love him. I know I do. I'm sure I do. But I hate him too, to this very core. I want to hurt him and punish him for something. I want to sniff out the breath from his throat. Katherine's eyes went blank. I just don't care for him at all. Sometimes I feel nothing. Nothing at all. And that scares me more. She laid on the bed, quiet now, letting the tears flow out of her eyes without wiping them. I'm going mad, Rosa. Katherine. I am, aren't I? Like my sister. Like my mother. It runs in our blood. They said I am a child of a mad woman. They say I'm going to turn out exactly like her. Rosa stroked her hair and tried her best to soothe her, saying that everything would be all right. They were empty words, but she didn't know what else to say. She wanted them to be true so badly, for her friend's sake as well as her own. Was Gillian really the cause of Katherine's confusion and pain? Pangs of guilt pricked her like tiny needles. Or was this her fault? Rubbish, you fool! This is all his fault. I can feel it. We must get to the bottom of this. Yes, Mother. Rosa looked down on her best friend and nodded slightly to herself. Everything will be all right, Katherine, I promise. She would make it all right somehow. She had to. The physician arrived shortly, but he did little to help Katherine. Katherine never regained her personality. She remained moody and irritable, breaking out into fits of hysterical laughter or heartbreaking sobs at seemingly random intervals. Gilliam and Rosa would take turns to tend to her. Her moods fluctuated, her tempo uncontrollable. There were times she begged for attention from Gilliam, almost clinging to him in despair, never letting him out of sight. Other times she couldn't stand his very presence. Soon, neither Gilliam nor Rosa could console her any more. She withdrew entirely from the household. She starved herself, stopped coming for meals, stopped caring for herself. Her manic episodes degraded to long stretches of blank silence. Emptiness ruled her life. Looking at her eyes in those last days, it was like a fire had been snuffed out behind them, like the star that had been shining through them had imploded. Oh no. Oh, Katherine. That's a shame. Okay then. Chapter 5, Psyche. And with that, we finally... Oh, that's an interesting way to start it off. Sorry. Excuse me, what are you saying? Sorry, I'm gonna have to get to you in the next video because... Shh, okay, calm down. Sorry, but for now, I'm going to end it here. That was a pretty wild chapter. It's pretty intense. I mean, yeah, I was really into it. I'm sorry if this video was longer than the other two. This was a really long chapter, but I didn't want to just stop in the middle of it. I wanted just to keep going, just to get this chapter over and done with for you guys. I hope you enjoy this video. Thank you for watching this. If you're enjoying this series so far, I really hope you are. I'm not seeing any response to the series yet. I don't know if that's just me doing bad with the series. I don't know if I'm doing good or not, but I just hope that you guys are enjoying this just a little bit. But for now, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to end this video here. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, hit that button down below. And like always, I will catch you all in the next video. Stay awesome.